History does not repeat itself, but human nature does. This is message 434, day 88 in the 98 day 8C challenge, and this message is dedicated to the memory of Rudyard Kipling. I'm going to share a poem this morning. And as poems go, and this was written over 100 years ago, Kipling died almost 100 years ago, it's meant to leave an impression. You've heard some of his writing before. He wrote a poem you probably haven't heard before titled The Gods of the Copybook Heading. Copybooks were notebooks kids would use in school, and at the top of each page were written maxims and timeless truths that schools wanted to ingrain in students. Kipling contrasts these timeless truths with modern optimistic ideas. He calls these the ideas of the gods of the marketplace. They're basically advertising slogans. Nostalgia is a powerful force. We look fondly on the past and wish it would repeat itself. It won't. It can't. However, human nature does repeat. I listened to some lectures on the history of Egypt. The one idea that stuck with me is these people 5,000 years ago felt the same emotions I feel. Their sense of anger, jealousy, love, and joy was exactly the same as mine. People are the same. Human nature will not change. Wisdom is learning from the past that which is worth preserving and not trying to go against the grain of the universe. History does not repeat itself, but human nature does. So here's Kipling's The Gods of the Copybook Headings. As I pass through my incarnations in every age and race, I make my proper prostrations to the gods of the marketplace. Peering through reverent fingers, I watch them flourish and fall. And the gods of the copybook headings, I notice, outlast them all. We were living in trees when they met us. They showed us each in turn that water would certainly wet us as fire would certainly burn. But we found them lacking in uplift, vision, and breadth of mind. So we left them to teach the gorillas while we followed the march of mankind. We moved as the Spirit listed. They never altered their pace, being neither cloud nor wind-born like the gods of the marketplace. But they always caught up with our progress, and presently word would come that a tribe had been wiped off its ice field or the lights had gone out in Rome. With the hopes that our world is built on, they were utterly out of touch. They denied that the moon was Stilton. They denied she was even Dutch. They denied that wishes were horses. They denied that pigs had wings. So we worship the gods of the market who promised these beautiful things. When the Cambrian measures were forming, they promised perpetual peace. They swore if we gave them our weapons, that the wars of tribes would cease. But when we disarmed, they sold us and delivered us bound to our foe. And the gods of the copybook heading said, "Stick to the devil you know." On the first feminine sandstones were promised the fuller life, which started by loving our neighbor and ended by loving his wife, till our women had no more children and the men lost reason and faith. And the gods of the copybook heading said, quote, "The wages of sin is death." In the Carboniferous epoch, we were promised abundance for all by robbing the selected Peter to pay for collective Paul. But though we had plenty of money, there was nothing our money could buy. And the gods of the copybook heading said, quote, "If you don't work, you die." Then the gods of the market tumbled, and their smooth-tongued wizards withdrew, and the hearts of the meanest were humbled, and began to believe it was true, that all is not gold that glitters, and two make four. And the gods of the copybook headings limped up to explain it once more. As it will be in the future, it was at the birth of man. There are only four things certain since social progress began: that the dog returns to its vomit, and the sow returns to her mire, and the burnt fool's bandaged finger goes wobbling back to the fire. And that after this is accomplished, and the brave new world begins, when all men are paid for existing, and no man must pay for his sin, as surely as water will wet us, and as surely as fire will burn, the gods of the copybook headings with terror and slaughter return.